You ready to film another exciting episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff?
I can't wait.
Gotta be more exciting for Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, Real Good Stuff doers, we're back for another episode of Real Good at Doing Stuff, and we're back on the dyno. And I told you a week or so ago when we did Keith Baker's truck that we were gonna, I was gonna also do Andy Slade's, and today's the day. Andy's back. Pro shooter Andy Slade. Do you guys prefer pro shooter or professional marksman?
Pro shooter's good.
Pro shooter's good enough? Yeah. All right, so and Andy's truck is here, all fixed up. It's one of our engines, LS deal, and you just had it down at Eric's Custom by Biggin.
Yep, he did the turbo kit and really helped me out get all that set up. So
right, just kind of finished off the turbo, or got the turbo kit all together and some odds and ends, and it's up and running, and we're ready to start to tune up a little bit. It's got just a startup tune up in it, so we're gonna go through that and get things a little better. So what are you planning on doing with the truck?
So it's mainly drag and drive stuff, but we're really wanting to do, there's a lot of 8th Mile around here. Obviously I'm about 2 hours north, so really close to Mooresville, and that's really the main thing. I want to go do the drag and drive stuff but that's like twice a year, so run 8th Mile stuff with it, just have a good time, take the wife out to dinner on it.
Right. Yeah, just fun, kind of hot street car type deal.
Yep.
And what year is this thing?
So it's an 01 S10 extended cab.
Yeah, and it's got tank and radiator and everything's in the back for weight distribution reasons. That's the quick rundown. This motor's a little different than Keith's, as it has, this one's got dart block, doesn't it?
This is stock block, half-inch head studs.
Yeah, okay.
And mast heads.
Yep, this
They're
is
6973s.
Right. This has got the mast head on it. Still hydraulic. So it's a little better top end, I guess you could say. And anyhow, let's get started, get the idle sorted out, and go from there. All right, so I'm just kind of starting the idle tune up here. I just changed the injector data because it's a little different than what the startup tune was. But other than that, it's all the same. I'm gonna crank it and play with that a little bit and see what that looks like. All right, so that's a pretty good start on the idle. We'll keep playing that with that as we get going, but not bad for a starting point. Now I'm gonna drive it a little bit and make sure that it'll cruise up through the gears, not do anything too crazy. Let's take a look at that. All right, the fans aren't hooked up on this truck yet, so we're kind of fighting cooling it a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of do the drivability and kind of a little baby pull at the same time. Let's try to do that. Here, hold that, Andy. Okay, so that was 375 horsepower, and we turned it nothing, 5,000 or something. Yeah, not even 5,000. Boost is about 5 pounds. We got a really light spring in there. We're pulling fuel out about 10%. I'll go ahead and trim some of that out because it needs to come out. Fuel pressure looks good. Oil pressure is 87 pounds, and ready to. I'll turn it a little more before I add any boost. But let me trim the fuel. So that made 416. Even though I stayed in the throttle quite a bit longer, it didn't turn but 53 or so, and that's because this thing's geared for the street like 350, and it's got a slick on it, so its tires growing and it's just kind of sitting on the converter. But we'll fix that. We'll boost, and boost fixes everything, right, Andy?
Absolutely.
Right. We'll start
kind of like bargain.
That's right. It fixes everything. Yeah. We'll turn the boost up a little bit and start pushing on the converter. I'm gonna pull a little bit more fuel out, getting a little fat up there, or it's correcting a little bit. But I'll get ahead of that. I'm gonna try to start working on the tip end. It's not quite right in gear. It's a little bit of a stumble there. I'm gonna try to get that out.
Is it trans brake based?
Should be.
Okay.
Front comes up like a no prepper. All right, so 575. I don't know why I point my camera at that because I know you guys can't see it, but anyhow, it makes me feel better. And we got 9.5, 10 pounds there. That was just 5 on the dome, so that all adds up. I turned to 57. We're still pulling a little bit of fuel out there. I'm gonna pull some more. This here, I don't really play with that too much because that's kind of dyno stuff, and at the racetrack that's not going to exist. So we'll probably have different problems we'll fix at the racetrack, but once we're up on the thing, I am going to trim this out a little bit and get it a little closer. But oil pressure's good, duty cycle's at 26%, got plenty of pump pressure looks good. I always try to keep track of the important stuff every pull, so that if you're, let's say you start running, your duty cycle spikes, well, that's telling you something. You need to figure that out before you turn it up again. But anyhow, I'm gonna trim that. We'll turn it up another 5 and go again.
Maybe they could see it that time.
Yeah, that's a better idea. All right, so 688. All right, more the same. That's 14, 15 at the most. Still pulling a good bit of fuel. I'm getting into a fatter and fatter part of the map, so I may have to pull a good bit more, but that's fine. Now we're at 36% duty cycle, and I turn it about 6150 or something like that. I kind of just let these things naturally turn more and more every pull. as you add power, you have no choice but to turn it more. And I let that just kind of happen naturally. That's my normal procedure. Pulling 13% out right there. I'm gonna grab a good bit of that, pull that out, and then add another 5. All right, 800. It's a good little jump. All right, so 800 at the tire. I'm gonna raise it again. The fuel is really close now. That's getting much better. That was turning at basically 66, 67, 17, 18 pounds of boost. We're gonna put, this thing's intercooled, but we've been running it dry, so we're gonna put some water in the tank. It's so cold out here, the water's pretty cold. Probably not gonna ice anything. We'll just keep the water cool, turn the boost up, and keep on chugging. All right, so that was 958. We're 21, 22 pounds of boost. Our manifold air temperature sensor, for some reason, is not giving us a believable reading, so I'm going to ignore that. Oil pressure is 98 pounds because it's HED motor. We're adding a little bit of fuel now, which is just because we're kind of getting up on the cam and where the motor's happy. And I'm going to trickle a little bit more fuel in there and keep on cranking her up. We're just getting started. Alright, so that's 991, 25, 24 pounds of boost. And we're pulling fuel again. We're in some pretty big cells up here, so I'm going to pull some of that out. And I'm going to keep running, just running more boost through this thing. At some point I may need to add some timing back, but we're not going to tune the snot out of this thing on the dyno. We're just going to run on the turbo. And anyhow, I'm going to pull some fuel and add some more boost. go. All right, so what do we got? 1,060 something. Boost is 28, 29 pounds, somewhere in there. And everything is still happy. Duty cycle is getting up 66, 67, so we're still okay there. Fuel pressure's good, oil pressure's good. We're going to turn it up some more, but you'll notice the difference from the other day. This one's making a little more at the same, you know, or with less boost, and you know that's probably several things, but the first thing would be the cylinder heads. The heads flow better, and at this point on the turbo, that matters. It just eats that boost up and turns it into horsepower. So anyhow, let's creep it up a little bit more and see what we get.
$11.17.
All right, there we go. 11.17. Okay. All right, so there's 11.17 or so. 31 pounds or so of boost. This is a stock stroke motor, so there's no big stroke here. It's all just it's not a stock crank, it's a stock stroke. Oil pressure 86 pounds. Fuel pressure still hanging in. Duty cycle 71% at 7250. So I'm probably going to turn it up one more 5-pound increment, and we'll stop there for the night. But we'll give it one more rip just to see what that does, and then we'll hold off for now.
There
we go. All right, so that's 1140 something, and we're about 34 pounds of boost. Duty cycle's getting up there, 76 or so. More RPM, that's going to eat that up pretty quick. So for right now on the dyno, probably going to leave it about right here. Go get the thing in the racetrack and start sorting it out there, and go from there. But that's a pretty good start. Oil pressure is still 86, 7 pounds. This thing's ready to rock. So we'll talk with Andy a little bit, and I think that's a pretty good start. All right, Andy. Happy camper?
This is the best use for earmuffs I've had in a long time. You know, I use earmuffs about every day, but
right.
This was a way better use of
Right,
earmuffs.
way different way to do it. That's why these things, they pretty much live with me every day. But anyhow, 1140 something or whatever we made today.
1167.
11, is that what it was?
Yep.
1167. Okay. Yep. I'm cheating myself a little bit. All right. Well, that's a good start. And what's your are you trying to make sick week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got a thrash to do to tie up some loose ends here.
Yep.
And try to get down to Florida. So maybe we'll see you in a few days down there.
Absolutely.
Right
Let's
on.
do it.
All right. Well, that's enough for today. Like, share, subscribe, all that stupid crap. And we'll see you in a couple days doing something else. I don't know.
Go, go, go.